we have the Trish Pogue. Woo! From Vogue. Who were your childhood role models?
Nobody. No, I really.
No, I said that.
Well, I kind of get a lot from my family members.
I live in a delusional world.
Delulu is a solution.
God gave me the vision. God gave you the vision,
Right.
and we can't expect someone
Else to see it.
to see it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm very.
It's all necessary with Tifani Sage.
I'm ready.
Let's get this mother
Started.
Let's
You're pumping me up. Oh my God. Great way to start the show.
It made the bloopers. Oh, I saw it going down the camera. I'm like, no, you should slow that down.
Let's.
Thank you so much for returning to another episode of It's All Necessary with Tifani Sage. You know the usual, like, subscribe, leave your comments. I want to hear from you. And before we get started, this is just a reminder that this space is all about, sorry, I needed a breath. I was running out of breath. This space is a reminder that everything that we go through, whether big or small, it's only to prepare and propel our growth. Tonight, we have the Trish Pogue.
Woo!
From Vogue.
Period. No, that's how I say my last name. I heard my dad say it once when I was 7. He's like, it's like Vogue, the magazine, drop the V at the P. That's how I say it.
Girl, that's the soundbite.
Yeah.
Right there.
Period.
So guys, I have the amazing, gorgeous Trish here, and Trish is the founder of Toned Power, a celebrity instructor, and she can help you and me and all of us with Pilates and our well-being.
Yes.
Please give it up. Thank you so much for coming through.
I'm so happy to be here.
Just for context, guys, we met I feel like it was last week or
It was last
something like
week.
that.
We quick friends.
Quick friends.
Quick friends.
But I feel like this is going to show when you see someone and I'm sorry, but this feels like a freaking ass spider in my head. When you see, in other words, real recognize real. And I'm super honored and super excited for this conversation. So
Yes.
let's get started.
Let's go. Let's go.
So kick
Right
things
into it.
off. What's your fondest childhood memory?
My fondest childhood memory is Christmas with my grandparents. I spent a lot of time growing up with my grandparents, and it was me and my brother with them, and they would make every holiday feel like it was a birthday, but they went above and beyond for Christmas.
Love that. Question, is your brother younger or older than you?
My brother's older than me.
Oh, so you're a
Yes.
little sis.
So I'm a little sis,
And
but I
it's just
act like
you
I'm a
two.
big sis.
You do.
Yeah, he's like 6'4", and I'm like, Bubba, you need to, as I'm looking at him, he's like, okay.
I love
But
that.
I have like big sis energy,
Mm-hmm.
but he's like, girl, get in your place.
And to pivot off that really quick, how has it been, I guess, growing up, having an older brother? Did you feel like did you feel overprotected, or did you feel like, no, I'm big too?
No, I felt just the right amount of protected. I remember in high school, I came from out of cheerleading practice, and everybody was crowded around the boys' locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh my God, Eddie just got his butt beat. Like, he just got beat up. And I was like, what? What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
And they was like, by your brother. I was like, what?
Shoot.
What happened?
Yeah.
And I talked to my brother later. He was like, he was in there talking crap about you. So I beat him up. And I was like,
Shout out to Big Bro.
Bubba. Okay.
Thank you.
So the perfect amount of like taking care of his little sis, you know, but also allowing me to like spread my wings and fly.
That's a song right there.
Period.
I love that.
Thank you, Bubba. We love you here.
All right, so my name is Tifani Sage. I'm a confidence and clarity life coach. If you're feeling unfulfilled in your life, or you don't know what's next for you, I'm your girl. I can take you to new levels of clarity. Click the link in my bio for a complimentary, yeah, I said it, complimentary call with me so we can get your life on track. Click the link so we can connect.
Who were your childhood role models?
Nobody. No, I really,
No, I said what I said.
I said what I said. No, I think, role models, like as far as, I mean, I had different role models for different aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
So like my grandparents, they were married for 50 years. They were my love role models, you know. They really adored each other.
That's really important.
And they had a great way of communicating. And even though my grandma always seemed like she was annoyed, my grandpa would still like bring flowers just on a random Tuesday, you know, and it just kind of showed me how I wanted to be loved. But then I had, you know, my mother who was extremely strong and didn't let anybody just tell her what to do. She had a mind of her own. So I think I get a lot of that from her, where I kind of like stand my ground, you know? And then I had, you know, aunties that were softer and they lived softer lives, like aunts, like rich aunties do, you know? And that was a role model for me to kind of drop back into my softness. And so I kind of get a lot from my family members. I don't see anybody outside of my family as role models.
I love that.
That's weird,
because
but
I feel there are some people who, what's that saying, like a child growing up shouldn't have to look past their four walls for a role model,
right?
And some people only have role models outside of the home. So like, shout out to your family.
Shout out to my family.
Were they very intentional with?
I'm sorry.
Were they intentional with, I guess, raising you properly, or you just always saw like the gems in people, like, oh, I like that from you, oh, I like that from you, kind of thing?
I think that, you know, I think my grandparents and my parents did the best that they could with what they had. You know, I know, like, I'm sitting in this, I'm going to be 33 this year. And there are so many things that I've learned just over the last 10 years that I think to myself, my mother, who was a young mother, like, she didn't even know, she wasn't fully developed when she had me, and I was her last child, you know, out of the three on my mom's side. And so I think that they did the best they could with what they had. I do feel like my grandparents did a stand-up job, because you got your grandparents, right? Your grandparents are always like, yeah, I fell with the parents, but I'm about to kill it with you. Like, I'm about to murder this. This is my second go around. You know what I mean? And so they really showed up like heavily and really did their best to raise me right. Like, they introduced me to God, and, you know, my grandmother introduced me to yoga and meditation and what praying looks like just in my own way instead of the way that I'm told I need to do things. My grandfather introduced me to like surfing and being just one with nature. It's
very well-rounded.
Yeah, you know, and being able to just be myself. He literally worshiped the ground I walked on. So I like, that was like this is how I should be loved, you know, and seen. Wow. So, and I was the first girl, so he had my dad and my uncle before me, my brother, and then it was me. So he's like, oh, I got my girl now. So that's kind of how it went.
I love that. With, I guess maybe the answer is grandparents, but was there anyone in particular who helped pour into little Trish?
Definitely grandfather. Definitely Charles. Yes. Cecil. Big ups. He passed in 2020. So RIP to my grandfather. But he was definitely like, you know, if you have a doll, I'd use this a lot, but you know those wind up dolls? Yeah. He was the wind up in the back. He like allowed me to kind of go, and when I would get like, I can't do it anymore, he would wind me up again. Like,
what did that look like? Like him just having like talks with you, or I don't know, him just taking a ride out and it's like, just come with me.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of that. Like it was mostly talking. I think I had my most vulnerable conversations with my grandfather, even as I was coming up and understanding life and trying to figure out, do I like this boy? Do I like this girl? Like, I don't know, you know, and him just kind of helping to nurture me through those things. But also it looked like, get into the car, let's go on a driving lesson. And during that driving lesson, like, what's going on with you? Talk to me, you know? So,
you know what? I'm going to say this too, because I feel like men have a lot of, I can't think of the word right now, but like men have this thing where I guess women say like men don't know how to communicate, but clearly your grandfather knew how to, like, no, we're gonna have a conversation.
Oh yeah. And he had a good way too of understanding my nonverbal communication, which I think is very big in what I look for in a man now. But he was like, when I would get really quiet, that's not a normal thing, just so we clear, I'm never quiet. Okay. I love talking. Yeah. Right. But when I would get quiet, even for a second, he'd notice, he'd be like, what's going on with you? You know? And so I really appreciated being seen in
Do
that
you
way.
like though when someone keeps checking up on you?
I think that I have both sides, you know, like I like when someone is concerned about me, but if I say I'm fine, I'm fine.
Okay, like don't press.
Don't press.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you when I'm ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he didn't. He never pressed. So that was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some similarities and differences
Okay.
in your personality from when you were a teenager to present day? Oh, here we go.
Similarities.
Yes.
I have been larger than life my entire life. Okay. Okay.
That's the only way to live. Let me
okay.
stop. But
I have been larger than life. I've always dreamed big.
mm-hmm.
I've always like my personality has always been big.
Yeah.
And I love that about myself. It took me a long time actually to love that about myself.
Why?
Because you know the world makes you think that you're too much.
Oh, it's too much.
You're too
Yeah.
much,
But
right?
Cardi B said it the best in that one song. She was like, people who say I'm doing too much they don't do enough.
They don't do enough.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that I got that in my 20s,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I was kind of like stepping on eggshells all the way up to there where I was like, am I doing too much? Am I sharing too much? Am I, you know, am I talking too loud?
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like ease into it. Like, nope, this is who I am. This is just who I am. It's not going to change. So big personality has stuck with me my entire life.
Yeah.
I think the doubt has just, I've been able to kind of brush that off my shoulders.
Yeah.
You know, we live in a world where being a Black woman you have to be perfection. There is no failing.
Yeah.
And I was just talking about this. I'm sorry, I'm going off topic.
No, we can go anywhere.
Okay. I was just talking about this the other day with a friend of mine. And she was saying, you know, as Black women, we are kind of, we're trained to no hair can be out of place. You have to show up with your nails done. You have to show up you have to be presentable, you know? And I think that that's something for me. Like I used to think that I wasn't presentable.
Wow.
I had a lot of self-doubt, you know? And then now I'm like, no, I like me as I am. So that didn't stick with me,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah. What else? What else stuck with me?
Well, let me think.
My spirituality.
And from what I think you said your grandmother.
From my grandparents, they planted that seed, and that seed kept growing.
I feel like there could be a whole separate
Episode.
episode on just the significance of having a relationship
Oh yeah,
with God and the highest being and all of that.
yeah.
Off script, what do you feel like there was a time where you just felt like if it wasn't for God?
Girl, so many times. So the transition, and I'm jumping script right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, but the transition, and this is something that I'm going to try to keep my emotions in. I'm a Pisces.
Okay.
So
wait, do you have any napkins for us? Oh, we have paper towel. Sorry.
no, a thug tear might drop. Okay. The transition between interior design and Pilates came with sleeping in my car.
Get out.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Wow.
And I had hit rock bottom. And I needed to readjust my train of thought. I needed to readjust going after what I thought to be my passions instead of what I think were planted in my head as what I should have been doing.
Yeah.
And that was a really, really low time for me. And it wasn't low because of anybody else. It was low, I think, because I had put all of my personality even into an interior design. You know, I was so good at it.
Yeah.
Not to be my own horn, but okay, I was very good at it. Okay. But it was not calling to my soul. It was not easing me every night. I wasn't happy with it. And so I found myself in a very dark place. And I remember literally like a shovel moving dirt, praying my way out.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you, because I'm like trying to put myself in your situation back then. It's like, I guess, what kept you going? Were there like new people coming into your life where it's like, okay, great, you're like my angel for this moment?
Yeah.
Like,
so I have some amazing friends. Shout out Desiree. Shout out Allison. And they are my best friends. Allison's been my best friend since middle school.
wow.
Middle school. So she knows me sometimes better than I know myself. And Des, we've been in each other's lives for more than a decade, and there's never any judgment, just always just support. But during that time, I think what kept me going was movement, which is crazy because I hadn't made my mind up. I knew I didn't want to do interior design, but I didn't know what was next. And to a question that will be later, which I'll answer in the same way, I jumped out of interior design because I just knew it was not for me. And that is a part of my life. I'm a jumper. Like I don't, and I'm not saying this is for anyone else. By all means, be strategic. And I'm a lot more strategic in the things that I do now. But when it's a big life-changing decision, I just make it.
Just jump.
I just make it. I just do it, you know, and I'm like, I'll figure it out. You know, I'm very much a I'll figure it out type of person.
And in the end, not in the end, but like
it always gets figured out.
Eventually, it always does. Like, okay, I can start to see the light now.
Yeah, God does his thing. And I jumped with no plan.
Ooh.
And the no plan landed me sleeping in my car.
Oh.
And I wasn't ready to tell my parents. I wasn't ready to tell my siblings. It felt like I was lower than low. I was embarrassed of even making that move without a plan. And every day, the only thing that I could make myself do, the only thing, like some days I didn't eat, but every day I went to the gym. Every single day I hit the mat. Every single day. It was like a prayer to myself.
Wait, to be very specific. So did you, like, with your finances, were you thinking, okay, I have this amount of money and I'm going to make sure I save this amount of money for the gym membership? Whoa.
That was like, and I was going into my savings. I was going into my credit cards. I was maxing out. But the one thing that I was like, I'm never going to not do, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to go to the gym.
I feel like that like kept your mind.
It kept my mind like steady. And if I couldn't hit the gym, I went on a hike. Movement was my ministry.
Oh, like literally.
Movement was my ministry. Like I had to move my body.
Wow.
And that was the thing that kept me at peace. And so it was weird when I actually made the decision. And I was having a talk with God. I was at the beach in Long Beach. Love Long Beach. LBC is beautiful. If you have not been, go. Was in LBC. Just having a conversation in the back of my Jeep with God. I was laying in the back of my Jeep. And I was like, God, I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next. I don't know what's next. I need you to tell me. I need direction. I need vision. And then I started getting my stuff ready to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been doing this every day. And I was like, this is the only thing that brings me peace. You know? And so I was like, if anything, right, when we all pass, when we pass into the next life, we want to pass knowing we did what we wanted to do. We left and we left a mark, right? And I think that my ultimate purpose was impact. I always think that impact is my ultimate. I don't care about being a celebrity, but impacting somebody's life is huge to me. And movement impacts mine. So I'm using it now to impact other people. And so that's I totally skipped over everything. I'm so sorry.
Okay. No, there's no order. This is life.
This is life. It's the flow. Yes.
Thank you so much, Trish, for being like vulnerable and transparent. Because
same
with me, like impact. And I feel at least if there's one person out there that's going to be like, this episode
is what kept
though.
Me.
Oh,
I hear that.
I live for these conversations. So on to work and life. So before getting on your Pilates journey, what intrigued you about working in interior design?
I love design. So I love design of all kinds, just so we're clear, right? I love graphic design. I love interior. I love architecture.
Same.
The beauty in the little things that I think other people, because they're moving fast so quickly in life, like that they pass up, I think that I have the eye to see it. And I'm blessed with that eye. And a lot of other people are blessed with that eye, obviously. And the one thing that lit me up about interior design was being able to make someone's house a home. And I did that for a while. I made houses home, something that was cozy. Like, oh my God, this is so me. If a client said this is so me, like I was like, Bingo.
Yeah.
I did it.
Yeah.
You know, like I did it because I somehow seamlessly meshed your idea for what your sanctuary, like your home, to what I know you could have in here, you know, the beauty you could have. And then slowly I started going into, and I think it had been calling me for a while, but I started just focusing on wellness spaces within homes. So when people wanted their home gym done, or maybe they wanted a space to meditate, like I would focus heavily on those spaces. And we all know what happened next. Y'all heard the story.
So that means your home, like your wellness area is like lit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I still help my friends with interior design. My friend just moved and she was like, can you just, I'm like, girl, I'm on my way. Because I still love it. I still love it. It's just not, it's not something that I want to do every day, all day, you know? And so, and it feels like work. So if it feels like work, it must be work. But Pilates doesn't feel like work to me.
Because I was going to ask, what would you say to someone who is doing their passion and it feels like work?
I think sometimes everything's going to feel like work, especially when you're tired and you have those nights where you're not getting a lot of sleep, right? And you're pouring into it. But I heard something the other day that said, let me not butcher this, something along the lines of, if you have a stopping point, it's not a passion. But if you can't even, like, if you literally go, like, this is your thing, you have to keep going, like, that's your passion.
Oh, I think it's the, like, do what you love so you don't work a day in your
Not
life.
that one.
Oh, I don't know.
It was a different one.
Okay.
I must have read it. It's okay. Like, I must have read it, like, on Reddit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out Reddit.
On your journey of leveling up, did you lose any close friends, meaningful people that you were like, oh, I didn't expect you to drop off the bandwagon, but you did?
If I adjust this mic, y'all know it's about to get real, just so we're clear. Man, I did. I'm not gonna name her, but I still love her. And if she ever hear this, she gonna know who she is. Man, yeah.
That's how I feel about a friend of mine, or past old friend.
Yeah, it was difficult. It was really difficult, and it ended in such a nasty way. But we was great together. Yeah. Something about Aquarius women. I love me a good Aquarius woman to be my bestie because I'm a Pisces. So we sister signs. So we just get each other, you know?
I need to learn more about horoscopes because I'm just like, if someone says, oh, I'm a da-da-da, it's like, okay, cool.
What are you?
But a Taurus.
Oh. You're literally my sister. My sister is a Taurus.
When you said larger than life, I'm like, oh, yeah, Trish.
Yeah. My sister is a Taurus. 100%. She's great. She's very protective.
I can be like that and territorial. You know what it is? It's like when I find good people, it's like, no.
Yeah. My.
Trash people.
You cannot have this person. Yeah. I love that. That I love.
What question with the friendship that like folded? What was it? Was it just like, I don't know, for example, because I remember reading like you don't drink or smoke, something like that. Was it like, oh, I'm doing this now, and that person was like, well, I still want to do this, and it was just like, oh.
So it wasn't drugs or anything like that, but it was along the lines of just, I think, procrastination and just being driven. I got a lot of ambition. Like if I sat here and told you my plans, you'd be like, this girl's crazy. But if I told you, you'd be able to look me in my eyes like, she really believed it. I really believe it.
I
heavily.
May sound nuts, but I live in a delusional world.
Delulu is a salulu.
And I don't like, I like that.
Okay.
I don't
you can take it. You can take it.
I don't like when someone, I think just in short, God gave me the vision. God gave you the vision.
Right.
And if we can't expect someone
else to see it.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm very about like what I want to do, because I don't want to hear, maybe I need to like muscle up my like boundaries, but I don't want to hear someone saying, it's like, shut up. I don't hear that.
Don't muscle up your boundaries. Keep that. I think that it's really important for you to understand too, like, and I read this, I'm not gonna butcher this one because this one live in my heart. Okay, in my heart. But if you tell the wrong people your plans, it sounds like bragging.
Oh my gosh.
And that resonates still resonates with me. Like when you're talking to the wrong person, it feels like you're bragging to them, and you feel the feeling because you feel them being like, okay, but when you telling somebody
really
who's like,
right now.
I feel you, they like, oh my God, girl, you got this, you could do this.
That is why I'm quiet about certain stuff, and it made me think. I had to do a self check. Like, okay, why don't I share? But it's like, no.
Yeah,
I'm not really
trust that
feeling
intuition.
like this person is as grand, and I don't want that person's insecurities on their self to come project onto me.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm battling what they're saying. Plus, I'm still trying to like grow into what the vision that I have for myself.
Right. And I challenge you to stop being around anybody who doesn't feel like that. And that was my challenge for myself, which is why I had to end that friendship.
Got it.
Because I was making that big change. It happened during that big changing point, that transitional point in my life. And I would get up and I would do something every day, right? That I felt in that moment. And now I'm more strategic with it, but I felt that would bring me closer to my aha moment and my big unveiling, right?
Yeah.
And she wouldn't. And she had so much potential. But she would just stay in the house, sit on the couch all day, wouldn't do much.
Yeah.
Had the same kind of routine. I mean,
were you guys roommates?
We weren't roommates.
Okay.
We were not roommates. But shout out, because when I was going through that transition for about a month, 2 months, she let me sleep on her couch. Okay. So she ain't that bad of a friend. Let me make sure I give credit where credit's due. Right. We did separate because, I was going with my life.
You were growing
in one way.
Yeah.
And she was going with her life in a different, or it looked like it was the same to me. And I couldn't, you just can't, when you're growing, you can't take everyone with you, And then, I still meet people to this day where I'm like, man, we could be really good friends, but I see something in you that I've seen before.
Oh.
And I can't do that. Now my discernment's different, right? I've leveled up in my discernment. Like, oh, I know what that look like. I've seen that before,
I love that word.
Discernment.
Just random. Like, because that is just so real. And I think sometimes when we're asking, I'll say me, when I'm asking God for a sign and it's like, he shows me, it's like, okay, that's very real, but it's important to have because we need to know how to like move and maneuver.
Yeah. How do we navigate through this world, right? With people who have our best interests at heart. And that's hard because a lot of these people don't know that they don't have your best interests at heart. They're just moving through life in the best way that they can. So I don't hate nobody. I don't dislike you. I just see you and I move accordingly. You know what I mean? It just becomes a word that I have to kind of like, I have to understand, that's just not your people.
Yeah.
Like you start to kind of understand, that person is my type of person. That person's just not. And that's okay. They're doing the best with what they have. Type thing. Just as I am, Wow.
Girl.
Am I dropping gems?
Yes, on my head top.
Okay.
So what did you make sure was in place before you made the jump to be
not a damn
business
thing, girl.
owner?
Nothing. Nothing. I didn't do nothing. I did nothing. I thought it up and I made the jump. I just said, I did pray. I did pray.
Yeah.
I prayed and I meditated. And the meditation was just a silent prayer. I wrote in my journal. But as far as preparation goes, and I don't advise anybody to do it in the way that I did it, but I truly believe that I have an understanding with God, and my understanding, and this is my 32nd year of living, right? So I don't know about y'all relationship with the big dog, but I'm his fave. You feel me?
Girl.
Like Sky Daddy, okay?
That's how I move.
Period.
And I sound like nuts to some people. I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. But I know how this thing is set up.
Right.
So
like,
good.
I'm right here. You feel me? Like, this is the conversation that I care about. And me and Sky Daddy had a talk, and it was really quite simple. He said, if you take a step, I'll take a leap. Like, if you take one step, I'll go a mile.
Yeah.
And that's what my life has been this entire time. And people just call me lucky. And I'm like, no, I just took one step and the mile was given to me. And so I challenged myself even in something that was extremely hard because I liked the way that I lived.
Yeah.
I am quite bougie. Horseback riding, golfing, tennis.
Be great friends.
I like expensive things, men who are watching this. So with that being said, It was hard.
The lifestyle change.
Girl.
The temporary lifestyle change.
Girl, it was hard. It was very, 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 very difficult. But I adjusted. And I think that was even a part of me coming into my own, the adjustment. Because I think and if I think about conversations, if I actually were to have these conversations, like long conversations with God, right? And I hate to keep bringing up spirituality. I hope that's not going to hit anybody the wrong way.
It doesn't matter. This is not for you. Go to the next video. But for those who want it, stay
here. Please stay here. Stay with your girl. But I think about those conversations, and I think that, like, let's say I was, I think that God gives me these challenges to see how I will react, right? Like, will you stick to your word? And by word, I mean your word, right?
Whoa.
Yes. Will you come to me first, or are you going to look for validation outside of me? You're alone now. Who are you going to speak to? How is this going to, you know what I mean? How are you going to deal with the situation? Are you going to dig a deeper hole for yourself, like I see people have done? Or are you going to come out of this because I've made you stronger than this, right? And so, yeah. Nothing was in place, but I have a strong faith. Wow.
And would you say the leap was worth it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm the happiest that I've ever been.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Doing anything in my life.
Yeah.
I am, and this is what brings tears to my eyes. I am so incredibly happy that I get to impact people with movement. I see people unlock deeper parts of themselves by moving their bodies, whether it's through a classical Pilates class or a contemporary, or maybe I do a dance Pilates class and someone's like, I've never moved like that. I feel so sexy.
Wow. We should do a live of like me trying this out.
Yeah.
I need to go to one of your classes.
Yeah, you should.
Okay.
You should.
I'm like on my phone. Okay, next week.
Like what?
Join a class. Trish.
Right. Okay. But yeah. Nothing was planned. Yeah.
This is some good stuff. What couple standout hard boss lessons that you've learned on the job as Miss
On
Boss,
the job.
Trish?
As Miss Boss. Man. I did the stand this time, y'all. I did the whole stand, just so we clear. So when I started this, right, I knew that I needed to make, first of all, the idea was to make an impact. But you can be talking to crickets if you don't do it the right way.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And so I remember jumping out, like, I need a team of people. I know, right? To make sure that my social media is right. Like, that was the ideal of it, right? And I thought it would be easy. You just get people who like to take pictures of me and love my personality, and right? What can be hard about this? You know what I mean? Wrong. Right? It takes actual leadership.
Ooh.
Right? So I have to now be able to communicate my vision. I can't just assume you see the vision. So for me, effective communication has been one of the things that I've had to learn. That's been a hard lesson for me. Because I'll be like, no, shoot it from there.
Yeah.
Right? And they shoot it from there, but they don't get what I'm looking for. And now we at a tussle. Well, I did what you told me to do. Well, no, you didn't. But and I'm like, oh gosh, I need to figure out a way, right, to better communicate. Or I would say, okay, this is how I want it to look. This is what we're going for. This is blah, 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 right? And so communicating is a big thing for me. But also, I think understanding is a huge thing for me. These people aren't in the place that I'm in. And I don't mean like I'm higher than them. I just mean they want to be on the end of the camera that's not in front of it. Sometimes they don't even fathom why I would want to be in front of it. Right. And so kind of getting them to understand what I'm trying to get my consumer or my clientele to feel or understand, that's huge too. Yeah. Right. And that's a lot of patience, I think.
Did you have a lot of patience prior?
Zero.
Okay. Got
no patience. Look, I'm hungry right now and I'm ready to go. Can we order something on Uber Eats? I can't. My stomach is growling. Zero patience. Zero patience. That's always been a thing for me though. And my grandma used to tell me, you need to watch what you're praying for because God has a sense of humor.
Ooh.
And I'd be like, okay. And she's like, you're praying for patience, but you're just going to get opportunities for people to annoy you. You need to, they're gonna annoy you into patience.
And separately, this prayer about how, I'm sorry, 1 second. The prayer of God use me. I think that's a very powerful statement. And I'm very careful with saying that because it's just like, it'll be the times when it's inconvenient.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
You know?
100%. 100%.
How is your level of empathy?
I think because I'm a Pisces and I keep bringing back to this, and I'm gonna give you an astrology lesson as soon as this is over. Okay, I got you. I'm a water sign. I'm full of just water and nurturing. Water is that's the producer of everything. You got to think about the elements, right? That it's the mother of everything, right? So I naturally go into empathizing and sympathizing with people, but when I'm in my business state,
when you in your bag.
When I'm in my bag,
no empathy. What empathy?
I say, get the job done, babe. What are you doing? Cry for a second. You got 5 seconds. Hurry up. And so I'm learning, right?
I'm sorry.
I'm learning. Yeah. I'm learning, and that's the meat of it too, right? For me to just come out and be like, yo, I'm still learning these things, right? And obviously, I have amazing people around me who are willing to do incredible things to see me grow, and they see the light and they see the vision, and I appreciate them wholeheartedly. And I think that as a visionary, I have to be the person that leads with empathy. So I'm learning. That.
I know you said before like leading, but it just hit me a while ago where it's like the things that you would want your team of people to like exude,
you have to be
first have to be it.
You have to be it. Yeah. And
just even in life, if we want more love in our life, well, show more love.
Yeah.
You know? You
give what you get, what you want, right? Put out what you want. Yeah. 100%. I mean, other hard lessons I think for me is time management. You know, and I had time management when I was an interior designer. I knew what time I needed to be done. We were on a deadline. I knew how to get the things done. But I'm going into a new space of literally like owning every second of my life. I own it. I don't work for an agency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now I'm reconstructing what time even means to me. So what time do I go to bed then if I'm not coming? You know, like when do I do this and when do I do that? And my time, because I have so much of it right now, that doesn't always equate my team's time. So I have to be mindful of their time too, and not expect them to just be ready to go. And you know what I mean? Things have to be planned in advance.
Like for example, if you have a photo shoot.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Like I would be spur of the moment. Like, y'all, we finna shoot.
Yeah.
And but I gotta go to work.
Oh.
I'm like,
So then what do you do in those situations? You get a stand-in person who can do it, or you just kind of work around that person?
I shoot myself. I figure it out. That's also, been a lot of my learning. Yeah, that's been a lot of my learning. I had to teach myself, like, what does it look like if you have nobody around, right? Like to shoot yourself, like audio, like all of that good stuff. Like what does it look like, you know, and what angle are you truly going to want and all that good stuff. So it's been, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still learning. I have not truly mastered anything yet, but I like it that way because if I stay learning, then I just keep getting better. So that's where I'm at.
All right.
That's where I'm at.
What's the latest business or personal conversation that's been resonating with you?
This one.
Oh.
This one's good.
Tiffy Sage.
This one's so good. Come on, Tiff. Big Tiff dog. This is wonderful because to hear myself speak over what I've been through, kind of helps me, you know, come back to humbleness and being grounded, right, and being gratefulness, right. But also, I think less conversations about business and more what I read and what I consume what I consume. I just got through reading again for like the 5th time. I'll do this thing, right, where at least 3 times I will listen to or read, typically listen. Let me stop lying to y'all. I listen to the book. Okay. Look, it is what it is. Okay. Okay, judge your mama. I will listen to a book the first time, right? And it's playing noise in the background.
Yeah.
I don't really hear much. I catch little bits. I'm like, oh, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna get back to that. Second time around, I listen. I actively listen to the book. Third time around, I implement it.
Nice.
And so now it's been, repetition is everything.
Yeah.
That's how we learned when we were in school, right? We would repeat the same things over and over again. Or if you fell off that bike, you didn't go that way, but again, you know what I mean? Like you learn from repetition.
To Duolingo. I'm
Shout
on
out.
like an 11-day streak now.
Okay, let's go. Shout out Duolingo. So I have gone through the 12-week year. Now 5 times. Don't ask me about 5 when I just said 3. But let's not talk about it. But it's such an influential book. And it just kind of teaches you how to stop thinking that you have 365 days to get things done and take the most important things and put them in a 12-week plan. And so now you're taking everything you would have done in a 365 over a year, right? Now your weeks become your months and your days become your days become your minutes. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that.
But it's just pushing
It pushes
important
everything
stuff in the front.
100%, right?
Whoa.
And so it allows you to break that down, and you're doing something that would get you closer, something that's intentional that would get you closer every day. So like people will be like, do something hard every day. Okay, but what's the hard? What is it? What am I doing?
Yeah.
I need direction.
Yeah.
And I think the 12-week year like helps you to really understand what that direction looks like instead of you guessing.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's hard for you to get up that day, but that's not going to push you closer to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like really doing something that's intentional every single day that gets you to your goals.
And then you have, like, let's just say they knock it out in the 12 weeks. You have, I can't do the math right now, but
okay.
all that other time.
I can't either.
You have all that other time now to be like, oh, now what do I want to do?
No.
Versus drawing out the damn thing for 365 days.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have all that other time now, and you break them down. Like you're going to break down your goals, like your top 3 to 5 goals. And those are the goals that you're going to focus on for the 12 weeks. But then they should catapult you, if you do it right, into more goals, right? Into moving forward. Because now you've hit those. Now there are new things to hit, right? And so that book has been really influential for me. I am someone who consumes a lot of books.
Same.
A lot. I wouldn't call myself a nerd, but I push my glasses up a little bit. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like, and when I talk to you,
that's really sexy though, because
it is sexy.
I heard the other day, knowledge is power. Well, they said knowledge is not power. It's when it's implemented, it's power. Yep. But I just feel like the time that we're reading or listening to a book, it's like that has been exchanged with, like, you could have possibly could have been consuming garbage or talking to a small-minded person
100%.
Or whatever.
100%. And I think the reason why I consume so many books and I consume so many good podcasts like this one is because I've made a goal to stop listening to so much secular music. This doesn't do anything for me. And everything that we consume is going to come out of us in some way. Literally every single thing. So the water you just drank, you're going to use the bathroom later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything that comes in is going to come out. And so before I made that promise and that shift to myself, like when I would get angry, I would say mean things. And I'm like, who is this mean person inside of me? I'm not even mean. Like, but it's all the like, I got a lot of enemies. Like, why? I don't though. I don't have a lot of enemies. Actually, everyone loves me. Like, you know? Yeah. So like listening to the things that actually represent the life you want to live versus it being just like, oh, I'm consuming a lot of stuff just to consume a lot. But this is not doing anything for me, but changing my mindset about myself, my life, the people in my life, you know?
Trish, I think that is like the biggest gem that I'm taking away. We haven't even like finished, because that is so true.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the TV show, but I know when I used to watch it, I remember when I would cut it off, someone calls me and I'm like snappy. And it's just like, that's not my energy, but it's like not. Because I was just consuming snappy people that I'm just like, I'm annoyed now. And
Yeah.
Whoa,
And it jumps on us. Energy is transferable, right? And you get energy from a song, from a person, from a TV show. And so like watching and being more mindful and intentional about what we consume. And so like I said, I've just been consuming a lot more books. And those are the things that have been monumental for me because now I'm hearing from people who have done it. Right. I'm not going back and forth with somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to Kiki and them.
Yeah.
And Kiki still, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like she's not where she wants to be.
But telling you how to do it.
Exactly. Instead, I'm looking onward and upward, if that makes sense. Not saying shout out Kiki.
We love
you. We love you, Kiki.
Moving on to Essence. What do you love most about the Trish?
Everything. I love my face. I'm a pretty woman.
Oh.
I'm a pretty woman.
Oh my gosh.
I really am.
I love that. Do you do that thing like when you shout out to the lovely Issa Rae? I'm rewatching Insecure right now.
Yeah.
And I'm cracking up when she's like talking to herself in the mirror. But do you do that?
100%.
Ooh, okay.
100%. Like I big up my chest. Like I'm like, I got this. 100%. I think that I have played small in different parts of my life. And I've just dedicated myself to not. And as soon as I decided to stop playing small, I started seeing everything in myself that's so, and don't get me wrong, I have my flaws, obviously, right? Sometimes I'm insecure about my stomach, you know, and I think that's important even to say out loud because as a Pilates instructor who shows up online, like everything's together, like I have my own like insecurities that I'm working through as well, you know?
I wanted to say really quick, I loved your post when I think it was like you were in between takes and you were asking the photographer like for a little break.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I love vulnerability. So just showing, because I feel like the average person will be like, oh, Trish, oh my gosh, like everything's perfect in her life and like she looks amazing.
Yeah.
But you choosing to show that, it's like she's a real ass person. And I think that makes you even more like a beaming light.
I'll take that. I will take that. I will definitely take that. I think it's important to show people because I don't know who's watching me. And I like to think about my nieces. I have beautiful nieces. Shout out my nieces. But if they were watching me, I would want them to be like, oh, okay, it's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to just show up as I am and grow from there, you know? So I keep that in the back of my mind. But so many things that I love about myself. I love how I can find the positive in any negative.
Me too.
There's no way you can tell me, but I'm gonna be like, okay, but you know, like somehow my mind works towards positivity.
Me too.
You know,
I recently heard the saying, what is it? Negative, positive. I mean, like
toxic positivity.
Yeah, that. And I feel like when I heard it, I was like, okay, I get where you're going with that, but I'm gonna still choose the optimistic route.
100%.
Like, why would I choose, you know, not saying reality sucks because like our reality is amazing.
Right.
But it's just like, okay, I can choose light or dark. Why am I gonna go
Why
dark?
would I go with dark?
Why?
It makes zero sense. And I think that to piggyback off that, I think that our reality is the one that we made.
Ooh.
Right? So think about what you've done in the last month. And how that landed you here, right? You decided to choose in the moment when you saw me. Hey, I do a podcast.
Yeah.
Could you? That's a step from me being here. I decided to share with you. Hey, I've been really wanting to do a podcast. This is a blessing just to be here. So whatever our reality is currently, we made that up. So if we wanted to change, I'm gonna lean towards toxic positivity. You know, and I'm okay with people labeling me that way because if that keeps my life in the light, I'll take it. I'll take it any day. You know?
Damn, she's preaching.
I'll take it.
That is so
Sorry.
I'm glad you're here.
Same.
How has your upbringing shaped you for better or worse?
I am the oldest girl on my father's side. And I'm the baby on my mom's. So
I like that.
Yeah. So I got both worlds, right? And just think about all the memes you see about the oldest girl. They're also true. They're so true. Right? I have an older brother. I love him to death. Shout out Bubba again. We love you. But when we think about even within my siblings and my family on my dad's side, when I think about someone who acts like my father or who's my father's protege, it's me. So the shaping of making me be the monarch of the family, the shaping of you need to keep it together. You need to, like it was, I've been very much, put in a position where I have to thrive.
You like that pressure?
I think that I hated that pressure before because I just wanted to be. And then I found a beautiful balance in just being, but also thriving from that pressure because pressures do make diamonds, right? And I thought, all right, let it rock. As long as I don't crush under this.
Yeah.
Right. And I even said this earlier when everything was happening and I was at my lowest, I didn't even tell my family. And some might be like, but you had family. Why didn't you just go home? It made me stronger. I decided instead of, and I'm not telling anyone else to do this, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
But instead of doing this and falling back on the safety of that, I'm going to challenge myself to keep going, to push through. Right. But so, yeah, I think my dad's side really shaped me to be a boss. I think my dad shaped me to be like on your shit, you know? Yeah, very much so. And with the perfect amount of like, you got this. Yeah. Like my dad kind of has like this undying like faith in me. Like, you got it. Yeah. You can do it. Yeah. If anybody can do it, you can do it. Ooh. And I'm like, oh, okay. Even when I'm not feeling it, it's like, no, you got it. But then I have my mom's side. And my mom is extreme. And my sister, who's a Taurus, just like my mother. Shout out Tauruses. We love y'all. My older sister, it's her, my brother, then myself. My same brother that's on the other side as my oldest brother. She'd be like, you are just so spoiled. I mean, my sister pays for my Apple Music right now. I'm very spoiled, and I take that on my mom's side with so much like, I love it. It's like a piece of me that I love because they allow me to, if there's a failing, I have my mom to be like, how can we fix this, baby girl?
I love that. It's like a perfect hard, soft.
Yeah, it's the harmony. It's the harmony of both. And I think it's shaped me to have the hard and the soft, right? It shaped me to push myself past these limitations that I may have put on myself previously, but to do it with grace and ease. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like if I do fail, it's okay. I tried. Yeah. Right? And as long as I tried, that was the hard part, right? And the soft part is if you fail, you good. Just get up and just try again. Like, So yeah.
Sometimes I wonder, this sounds like a stupid question, but
never.
Why are some people afraid of failure? In my optimistic mind, I feel like failure doesn't exist though, because you went a step further than you've gone before, and you scratched yourself or whatever the fail was. It's like, no, you learned though, and now you know how to go even farther with what you just learned.
100%. I don't think failure is, I think we visualize and see failure in the wrong way. And I think if we were to name it what its real name is, which is lessons, we'd see it differently, right? Because if you go for something, let's just take the bike, right? Yeah. You're riding a bike, you fall off. You didn't fail. You just learned a lesson. Now you learn how to stay more steady. Maybe you need to get tighter in your core. Maybe you need to balance. Maybe you know where you're going. Maybe that hill ain't the hill for you, my guy. You feel me? Like, it's
or
never,
girl, because I fell off my bike 2 weeks ago. I did. And now I have a little trauma. Okay? I think I'm okay, but I have a little trauma now, like when I'm biking, like in Marina Del Rey and stuff. Well, let me not disclose the location.
Yep.
But the sand, the freaking sand, when I was turning,
it'll skid you.
It skidded, and I was like, now it's like, oh God. So what did I learn? Take wider turns. See? Don't just be so like hugging on the curb like that.
But see, you learned. You didn't fail, right? Because it may come a time where you're trying to get somewhere really quickly when you're in a beach, when you're on a beach, you know, and you have to keep that in mind, right? So I think I agree with you. I don't think failure is really a true thing. I think we just mislabel things, for sure.
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
Ooh, how does mindfulness look for you on your perfect day?
Oh my gosh, a perfect day. Mindfulness looks like a lot of different things. So I think that people will expect me to be like journaling and meditation. And while I think meditation and journaling are extremely important, I think that mindfulness looks like I don't need that cup of caffeine. I don't need that coffee. Maybe I'll go with matcha instead. Right? That sugar had me a sugar rush before. I'm not going to go with that. Or, you know what? It's 7 p.m. and I have a lot of things to do, but I'm going to go to sleep instead because I keep doing this to myself and I need to listen to my body.
Yeah.
I think just having daily mindfulness makes for a better life, but a perfect day would be rising, being able to talk to God. I made this thing called a mind movie. Have you ever heard of mind movies?
No.
I made this thing called a mind movie. I want you to do this afterwards, please.
Okay.
You're gonna love it.
Can
and if
we
you're
do
listening,
it now?
we could do it on It's on Canva.
Oh.
But
Okay,
I can show you a
Okay.
little bit of mine if you want. So, and I'll make it quick. So I did a mind movie on the last day of 2023 so that I can come into the new year with it. And I watch this mind movie every morning as soon as my eyes wake up and right before I close them. And I start with a kaleidoscope and I go into Canva. If anybody wants to do it, I'm about to walk you through it. Get your paper, get your pen. I go into Canva. I create a movie, right? Get the free version, y'all. And I type in kaleidoscope, add a kaleidoscope, whichever one feels and looks good to you. I run mine for 3 minutes and 14 seconds, the kaleidoscope, because I was born March 14th.
Okay.
So it runs for the time that I was born. You don't have to do that. You can run it for 111. You could whatever angel numbers feels good to you. My birthday just happens to be an angel number. So I run it for 314. And then after that, I drag photos from whatever inspires me, Pinterest, whatever platform. And I speak into the mic of either my phone or my laptop, and I hear myself speaking my affirmations over the photos. So for instance, the first photo in my mind movie is a video of money falling. And I say, money, it chases me and catches me in everything that I do, right? So I have a step above the Midas touch, right? And so that's the first thing that I hear every morning is my voice telling me I already have it. Not like I'm gonna do it, but that it's done already. You know? And so I made a mind movie. There's other things like, oh, I have a wonderful relationship. I own property in this place. I have great friendships. Blah, 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 blah. But that's been one of the things that's helped me come back to being mindful, not just of my goals, but of myself.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think we're always wanting to attain more and get things. But I think I just want personal growth. And sometimes that looks just like I prayed an extra time today, you know, or I planted a tree. I got my fingers dirty in some dirt, you know, I put it in some sand or whatever the case is. And so I would say I have an answer for a day of mindfulness, but it really is going to be a compilation of all the mindful things I do every day. So
I love that. Watch me tonight. Okay, so clip number 1.